Good evening, road dogs, and welcome. Jack speaking. I'm going to tell you some good stories in here, so stay tuned. The haul's been long and the night's darker than molasses. Best keep the mind going lest we fall asleep at the wheel. This tale comes by way of a fella named John, aka Tire Iron on CB. Well, it was Friday the 13th, just like today. Tire Iron, John if you like, ran for a sweetener company. You know the type. If you can't do sugar, you can do super sucralose or sacrilicious or some dumb name that meant the same artificial powder. John is a good fella and keeps his candy-painted rig squeaky clean. Old Iron had been on a haul for some middle American hell to the City of Angels. He'd been at the wheel for who knows how long and decided to pull in for a bite, and the Car Box Diner was the last stop before the desert swallowed him for the next 16 hours. He eased into the dirt parking lot and got out when a 66 ragtop Mustang whipped in, kicking up a rooster tail of dust as tall as a pine tree. 4 youngsters got out, 2 fellas and 2 ladies, and went inside. John watched the dust settle across the top of his rig and thought, kids. By the time he got inside, 3 of them youngins were already at a booth drinking beer and laughing at him as he knocked the dirt out of his beard. One of the girls came up to him smiling. "Sorry about all the dust," she said. "Can I buy you a beer?" She looked like a pin-up model, blonde hair and long legs with bright red lipstick and ruby stud in her nose. "Not a problem, ma'am. Can't recommend drinking and driving, but I'd love a cup of coffee." She smiled again. "My name is—" That's when the face of the devil himself cut between John and the girl, tattooed across the hand of a buck sporting ripped-up jeans and a bad attitude, stiff-arming to the doorway. "Who's your friend?" He was talking to the girl, but he was staring at John. "Not a friend, just friendly," John said. "Excuse me." The guy kept his arm there, staring at John for an uncomfortable amount of time. "You guys gonna kiss or what?" the other guy called from the table. "Yeah, food's here," said the girl beside him. "Come on," the girl said. "Let's go eat." The fella dropped his arm. While they walked to the booth, she turned and as she mouthed sorry, her ruby stud twinkled in the glow of the neon open sign. John ate fast and went to spray off his rig. He checked the tires before pulling out and was just about to hop back in when that ragtop Mustang tore through the parking lot, kicking dirt all over his clean truck. The top was down, and the kids were hanging over the sides. He could hear the girl yell sorry, while the others flipped him the bird before they burned asphalt. Once John had her shining again, he hit the road. There was all manner of chatter on the CB, nothing out of the ordinary. That is, nothing until about an hour down the road he caught someone hollering something fierce. "Breaker, breaker, this is Crowbar. Call an ambulance. Send him out to the junction at 342 and Highway 9. I gotta get out of here. This thing's gonna blow." John checked his map. He was less than 10 miles from that intersection. "This here's Tire Iron. I copy. If you can hear me, I'll call it in and head that way." John called it in, took the next exit, and floored it. In about 20 minutes, he arrived at a blaze so big you'd think the sun got drunk and mixed up midnight for noon. He got out and took no more than 5 or 6 steps before he hit something squishy. He looked down and saw the face of the devil. "My God," John choked. That devil face was still tattooed on the same hand, but that hand was no longer attached to the same body. Instead, it lay in the middle of the road while the 66 ragtop Mustang boiled in flames. "The girl," John said. He ran toward the car, but stopped when someone screamed, "Stop!" Crowbar was ducked down behind a rock off the ledge of the road. "Get down! It's gonna—" The car exploded. The impact sent John reeling. He stared at himself, and before he could take another step, something blew out of the wreckage and rolled right up to his feet. He looked down and saw what was left of a human head. It was charred and all the hair was burnt off, but something caught his eye. There on the nose, a little sparkle in the firelight. Ruby don't melt. That's all for today, folks. I'll see you around. Be safe.